Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Salutations to all you Akim that's out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of going out on the highways and byways, teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you very few Akwaf that's out there listening and learning. You very few sisters, Salakia, you very few sisters that's out there listening and learning. This is your brother Nayab, and I'm back with another news update. So it's fair use, and for educational purposes only. I got a lot, y'all, so let's go. I'll replay it.
I'm looking all over TikTok, and I don't know why people aren't talking about this, but Japan has been rocking and rolling now for about 2 weeks with over 1,000 earthquakes, and it's literally shattering the roads, y'all. And there's a prophecy. Look at this. That has been happening for the past 2 weeks. Literally, rocks and everything has been falling out of the mountains. The roads are cracking open. But there's a prophecy that states on the 5th of July. The DEA announcing a huge bust in Georgia that they believe is tied to a Mexican cartel. Look at this. Agents uncovering 700 pounds of meth in a tractor trailer, but get this, hidden in boxes filled with cucumbers. You see here tightly packaged bags of meth being removed from a cucumber box right there. 2 individuals have been charged with possession with the intent to distribute the drug. One man also charged with, quote, illegal re-entry by a removed alien. This incident, as you can imagine, is under investigation.
Junior! This is the heartbreaking moment the parents of 18-year-old Jesus Ramos, 22-year-old Johnny Ramos, and 28-year-old Junior Melendez faced the danger head-on, desperate to find their sons after the firework facility they worked at exploded on Tuesday evening. Except she says they were the only ones brave enough to enter the grounds.
No police, no fire department, no agencies, nobody. It was just my husband and me inside in there.
Law enforcement says the volatility of the fireworks and other explosives being set off is just too dangerous to get close to right now.
We cannot move forward and risk any more injury to anyone else on this scene. So I appreciate and understand how much you want answers, and we're doing everything we can to bring you that.
I know, putting your life at risk for some people that you don't know is a lot, to take in, but it's like, those are people, they have families, they have babies, my nephews don't have a father no more,
The Ramos family sticking close by to media. They say they're only getting information through us.
That's how bad this situation is, and it's just nobody is really understanding that. Except for you guys, the news, you guys are actually, being helpful.
Family listened in at Wednesday's press conference, confronting officials on the handling of disseminating information when it comes to the 7 missing people.
You guys aren't focused well enough on the people in there. When there's families sick to their stomach, losing sleep.
24 hours later at the next press conference, media was told to drive further toward the facility and check in with our passes, an area only news crews would be allowed to go.
I asked very respectfully if I could go through because, I have victims, those are my 3 brothers. What did she say? Oh, you can't be here. Get out.
Officials did not take any questions after the press conference. They did mention giving hotel vouchers to impacted family members.
If someone was hurt, they could have saved them. Not anymore. I just need my babies. That's all I want.
At Atlantic City International Airport, this new technology is taking off. Researchers here just wrapped an 8-week trial testing the ability of robots to rein in costs and ramp up efficiency of key airport tasks. How will this change the commercial flight experience for passengers?
I think what's for the flying public, this is going to make it so that flights that are otherwise canceled or delayed actually make it to their destination.
Researchers are monitoring robots like Dusty Bot, which mows the grass, one of 3 autonomous vehicles tested here. This one scans the airport's perimeter, sending out alerts about people, animals, or objects that shouldn't be there. And this robot clears dangerous foreign object debris from the tarmac, which costs the aviation industry billions of dollars per year by damaging planes and could even cause crashes. Now that the trial is over, pending FAA approval, the tech could be coming to a city near you.
Ladies, do not skip this video. An attempted kidnapping happens in broad daylight in New York City. Please watch this footage. So as you see, the big guy with the white is the one doing the attempted kidnapping, and the men on the platform and in the train are asking her, do you know him? And she says, no, I don't know him. Thank God for these men in the next clip who became heroes in that moment.
Doctors want to know why so many non-smokers are now finding themselves diagnosed with lung cancer. A study by UC San Diego shows some possible reasons, including air pollution and environmental exposure. That pollution can come from vehicles, industrial emissions, even wildfires. Researchers also found that some traditional herbal medications are causing lung cancer in people who do not smoke.
So did y'all hear the news on the vaping? If you get caught vaping in the streets, it's a felony. This is for certain states. What state are you in? Does this apply to you?
Tax rises for all of us come October as Rachel Reeves now hints that taxes are going up. We are now being warned of a $40 billion bill in this autumn's budget, which is the same amount from last year where Rachel Reeves promised that this would never happen again. And businesses and hard-working families have been warned to prepare themselves. So let me get this straight. They're going to take money from hard-working families in the UK and businesses in the UK. Many of the families cannot afford to have any more money taken off them, but they're going to take the money from them, spend it in Ukraine, spend it on hotel contracts and data and phone and whatever else the arrivals get for free. Take from the families, take from the businesses, give to Ukraine, give to the illegal. Fucking cut that shit out once and for all. I've seen that some of the illegals are earning £700 a week on places like delivery places like Deliveroo and all them lot. £700 a week and they shouldn't even fucking be here. And you know they're not declaring that to the fucking HMRC, are they? Fucking unbelievable. But yeah, we need.
Well, breaking fucking news. President Tiny Hands just backtracked his immigration policy, stating that they shouldn't be rounding up illegal immigrants who work for farms and hotels because the employers are going to have a hard time finding fucking replacements, and he's going to make sure he makes changes to ICE policy about doing immigration checks at hotels and fucking farms. Even when, as far as the saying, these people who work on these farms and hotels are good working people who have been here for 20 plus years. This is an abusive relationship. this is.
Это жесть вообще.
Breaking news has been reported by Fox Digital about Mahmoud Khalil. Mahmoud Khalil will be deported, according to a judge in Louisiana. The judge said that, yes, the government showed its burden of proof to say why he should be deported. And in fact, this goes back to an act from 1962. It's called the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952 that justifies Khalil's removal from the United States. The provision allows the Secretary of State, reading this now, provision allows the Secretary of State to deport non-citizens if the Secretary determines their presence in the U.S. would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences. Now, Khalil and his lawyers said that's too broad. That's not fair. You can now send anybody back for exercising their free speech right. Well, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Khalil lied on his application for the student visa. Also said Khalil lied on his application for a green card. That, in and of itself, goes against the conditions he agreed to come here. So he was the spokesperson for the group on Columbia's campus that was stopping professors and students who happen to be Jewish from going to class and doing what they wanted to do. Also, he was the spokesperson for the encampments. This is a guy that the Secretary of State has every right to say goodbye to. Again, look it up if you want any sort of a resource that you can see for yourself. Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952 to get rid of this guy, Mahmoud Khalil. That's the latest breaking news. Back to the show. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. Don't forget to follow. Come on.
We've learned that ICE has arrested a Mexican boxer claiming he has alleged ties to a notorious drug cartel. DHS says Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been in the country illegally since last year. Chavez is said to have applied for lawful permanent resident status after marrying somebody the DHS says is related to the infamous cartel leader Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Federal agents are now processing Chavez for expedited removal as he faces an active arrest warrant already in Mexico.
Jones says she had only been working here for about 3 weeks when she had had enough and took the video before she quit.
They got chicken in the tea. I swear to God, there's chicken in the tea. I'm not even lying.
Unsettling and unsanitary conditions inside this Popeyes, we've learned the franchise owner has fired the manager who was on duty and another employee.
How old is this Reese? How old is this Reese? When I filled out the application, it didn't say we had roaches, you gotta kill them, you have to step on them. It didn't say that you would be in a dirty environment. It didn't say your manager was gonna be calling you out your name, acting like you was him. It didn't say none of that type of stuff. It didn't say.
Parceiro, fica suave. Fica suave, o trem tá vindo. Aí, ó. Caralho, mano passou por debaixo do trem, hein, parça? Aí, passou, hein?
Well, breaking fuck the news. On the eve of the opening of Alligator Auschwitz, there was footage and video seen of food trucks entering the federal facility, because what it is, it's a federal facility now. Well, you guys, TikTok, Instagram, the social media, the interwebs are incredible. You guys decided that you were going to make sure you knew these food truck names that were recorded entering the facility and have said caused so much backlash for a lot of these food truck owners. They have had to release statements, turn off their comments, even here on TikTok. A couple of those food truck owners, who I'm not going to name on here because if you've seen the video, you know who they are, have single-handedly issued statements, some of them being half-assed, stating like, oh, we know how it looks, but it's not that. And then they have turned off their comments. To the point that it's not just one, not two, every single food truck that entered that facility is facing large amounts of backlash.
So 4 Extra just blew his hand off.
So, we're not quite sure what's going on. We're trying to get a hold of our dispatcher and everything else. But at some point, if we do go back to San Juan and land, we're going to have to declare an emergency just for an overweight landing. But for now, we're just heading back there and we'll figure it out. We have a threat on board with text messaging between passengers and flight numbers. So we're going to need authorities at the gate to meet us to figure out exactly what's going on here. We just have a threat from out back. We're not sure if it's even credible.
What is it? Capturing this bizarre and brilliant ball of light moving across the horizon.
It's like a fireball, but not really. It's the wrong color.
They say the spectacle lasted about a minute and began with a bolt of lightning that struck just under a kilometer from their home. Ed Party says it spawned the display.
It was probably anywhere from a meter to 2 meters in diameter, so it was fairly large, and then, I don't know, about 20 feet above the ground.
The couple were amazed and scrambled to film it with a phone.
It's like, what is this? I've never seen this before. No, it was pretty neat.
A neat sight that had Ed immediately wondering if it was the mysterious thing he'd read about as a kid called ball lightning.
After we shut the video off and it disappeared, I'm like, oh, so that's what that looks like.
We've got this really bright light out here.
We asked longtime storm chaser George Karunas for his opinion.
If this is indeed ball lightning, this is one of the best ball lightning videos I've ever seen.
But he wonders if what we're seeing is the result of lightning hitting a power line and an arc of electricity traveling along it.
One point, this exhibits all the characteristics of a persistent, slow-moving, arcing power line.
Ed and Melinda doubt that.
Definitely not.
No, it's a long way.
What Israel's been doing in Gaza in the last few months...
Is it genocide?
...has crossed... I don't think it is genocide.
Well, okay,
I don't think it is.
This is a real problem.
Hang on. No, it's not a problem.
It is a problem because you're a genocide denier.
Hang on. I'm not a genocide denier.
You are. Do you think Israel's committing genocide? Yes
or no? Do you know
what
genocide is?
Yes, I do.
What do you think it is?
Genocide is the intention to destroy a people in whole or in part.
Right.
Okay. Do you not think that's what's happening to the Palestinians of Gaza?
Do you think they're trying to kill every Palestinian?
That's not the definition of genocide. Which genocide is every single person being killed?
I think what is happening is more ethnic cleansing. Okay? It's how I would describe it. We can disagree.
No. This is...
We can disagree. A lot of people think it is genocide.
No. Okay.
It has not been officially declared a genocide, right?
What's that? Obviously,
it hasn't been officially declared.
The International Court of Justice is the only arbiter you could point to. Just quickly, they would have to take years to do that. Okay, let me just put...
I would call it what Smodrich is talking about. That is ethnic cleansing.
A consensus of genocide scholars believe Israel is committing genocide. And that includes, just quickly, Israeli scholars of genocide. Omar Bartov, he's a professor of genocide and Holocaust.
But you ask me what I think.
No, but this is what I'm going to ask you because we're talking about experts, people who actually dedicate their lives.
But many experts say it is.
No, let me quickly, Omar Bartov, Raz Sigal, these are only Israeli genocide scholars. Amos Goldberg, Israeli professor of Holocaust history. Daniel Blattman, he's the head of the Institute.
What's the ICC said?
The Israeli the ICC is still investigating, and their charges are public. Now, come up with another one.
What's it say?
Well, we don't know because they've been ordered.
They're fighting over a land that's not even theirs.
It's only any future charges.
We do know that it's not declared it a genocide.
Yeah.
Sources tell us this investigation started at around 9 o'clock this morning after police received a call from a woman inside this home. They said the woman told police she was in the process of cooking methamphetamine under the influence and her child needed to be picked up. Police arrived and sources say they found more meth than they could have imagined. These are the pictures of what was recovered. A total of 440 pounds of meth. Almost 200 pounds of it was in liquid form inside these big red containers. The rest was crystallized.
Really? That happened? Yeah. I can believe it.
Neighbor Artemio Hernandez was shocked when we told him about the
That nigga look like he on meth.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All it is.
That nigga look like he was in on it.
Happening here. Yeah. I can believe it.
I won't be surprised if he had half of that amount underneath his. Hey, he might be the wing leader, whatever.
He's lived here for about 20 years and says he's never seen anything like this. Hernandez says the family moved in less than a month ago.
Cap, look where they live, bruh. Nigga, you know what going on in your neighborhood, nigga. Neighborhood, nigga. He's only 10 feet away from the next house. Come on, bruh.
With two young girls that he says appear to be 3 or 4 years old. We know that one of them is now in the custody of Child Protective.
Days after Gaza's new aid operation began, one U.S. security guard was already having doubts. He gave us this footage from inside site number 4, showing colleagues firing on a departing crowd of Palestinians. He said, the former security contractor, who asked that we hide his identity, said his complaints were ignored. He said he witnessed several occasions when contractors shot at or injured Palestinians. Team leaders referred to Gazans as the zombie horde, he said, and instead of clear rules of engagement, had given this advice to contractors.
You have the inherent right of self-defense. If there's anything that you feel uncomfortable with, shoot to kill and ask questions later.
This new distribution system, which Israel says is designed to stop aid going to Hamas, has been widely criticized for forcing vast numbers of people to walk through active combat zones to a handful of overcrowded sites. Condemned by international aid organizations and Gazans themselves, it's also now being accused of negligence from within.
Trump just said they're going to take the immigrants that they round up and give them to the farmers. And the farmers will be responsible for the immigrants. And they'll be given things, and they'll be allowed to pay taxes. They just won't be given citizenship. But all the farmers will be in charge of the immigrants. That's indentured servitude. That's literally slavery. Trump is rounding up immigrants so that he can have them work the farms, but have the farmers have total power over the immigrants. He said this on his tour of Alligator Auschwitz. And what the living shit?
He told you that these so-called white people is the devil. These Edomites, all right? Esau, Edom is the devil. All right, with his grandson Amalek, all right, both of them are Edomites, so-called white people, devils. All right, from the least to the greatest. All right, to the least wicked to them all the most, cause they all wicked, you know. But hey, that's what it is. So with that, all praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Kagadash. Until next time, Shalom.